Hello, very good evening to you. Welcome to ITV News and to Wednesday night's calendar.
Hello, here are our tonight's main stories.
Police arrest a man over a horror crash which left 6 people dead. Meanwhile, a community comes together in grief for the victims.
People don't know what to say, and you don't. And what is there to say?
It's just hard. It really is. We're asking questions daily, and we're just lost, haven't we?
People continue to leave tributes tonight, but significant developments: a suspect in custody and police seek to trace the movements of a top-of-the-range sports car. I'll have the very latest.
Yes, more on that shortly, but also tonight. A risky business. A farmer who lost his arm after falling into a harvester is fighting to make his industry safer.
My left arm got caught in the rollers, in the home roller in the machine, and it dragged me in up to my left shoulder.
Plus, the RSPCA says it's facing an animal welfare crisis, having to pay for private boarding because its rescue centres are full.
And this rather impressive mural of Bradford cricketer Adil Rashid has been unveiled here at Bradford Park Avenue. He'll be telling me what it means to be immortalised in his home city.
First tonight to a dramatic development in the investigation into just what caused a crash which claimed the lives of 6 people near Barnsley at the weekend. Now, you'll remember that the collision led to the deaths of a mum and dad and 2 young daughters who'd been in their car together with a married couple who were riding a motorbike.
Well, today police arrested a man on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving. And they've appealed for anyone who saw a grey-coloured Porsche 911 being driven in the area at the time of the collision to come forward to contact them. Well, our reporter John Hill is live near the scene for us now on the A61 between Wakefield and Barnsley. So, John, these really are significant developments.
They are, Ian, and I think everybody wants answers. You can see here, look, these are former workmates of Shane Roller, one of those who lost his life together with his partner and his 2 young daughters. And they've come here 3 days on to lay flowers and tributes and share memories. This road, this stretch of the A61 between Wakefield and Barnsley remains closed more than 3 days on from that dreadful crash. And I think that perhaps gives you some insight into the scale, the complexity of the police investigation as they try to build up a picture of what really did happen. As we know, yes, there were old workmates. Shane Roller was killed together with his partner Shannon Morgan and their 2 young daughters, Ruby and Lily. It means their other daughter, 11-year-old Poppy, who wasn't in the car, well, she's now orphaned. Also killed were motorcycle couple Christopher and Janine Barton. Well, today, significant developments from the police. This morning, they arrested a man on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving. Few other details about that, but what they have said is they're appealing for information about the way a grey Porsche 911 was being driven in and around the area at the time of the collision on Sunday afternoon. They've appealed for footage from CCTV cameras, from dash cams within cars, as they try to build up an exact picture of what happened. So as the police work goes on, the communities here, well, they've been coming together to remember those they've lost. A bell tolls at St Helens Church, Athersley, as people gather together for comfort and support. A place of peace today amid the anguish and the churning emotions which have engulfed this community since Sunday's crash. Today, candles were lit to remember those who lost their lives. Shane Roller and his partner Shannon Morgan, their daughters, 9-year-old Ruby and Lily, who was just 4, and the riders of the motorbike, Christopher Barton and his wife, Janine.
People don't know what to say, and you don't. And what is there to say? Hence, in the service today, there's a lot of quiet, because we can fill spaces with a lot of words, but words aren't what we want. Just what we want is love, really.
Just heartbroken, just lost for words. Obviously, you went to school, didn't you, with Ruby? And then this little one behind me went to school with Lily, didn't you? It's just hard. It really is. We're asking questions daily, and we're just lost, haven't we?
The community, the country, has been touched by the plight of Lily and Ruby's sister, Poppy. At the age of just 11, she's now orphaned. She's to live with her auntie. An online appeal has raised hundreds of thousands of pounds for her and her future welfare.
Poppy, I feel dreadful for her. She's lost everything, home, everything.
and I feel really, really bad for her at the minute.
Dave and Neil are local councillors.
Totally devastated, all communities, but they're coming together like they always do. So yeah, it's upsetting us all.
Neil.
Yes, it obviously be a tragic time. We mustn't forget there's other, there's been 6 deaths altogether. All families are affected, and it's just saddened that it took something like this to bring the community together the way it has.
Amid the grief, amid the heartache, the A61 Wakefield to Barnsley Road remains closed. The work of the investigators goes on, but with today's arrest, this is now a potential crime scene.
So, John, that outpouring of grief and support for the victims of this tragedy obviously continues. And you mentioned the fundraising campaign in your report. How's that standing tonight?
Well, I suspect that's a measure of the strength of feeling, the heartbreak, not just here within the local community, but beyond. The kindness of strangers has really helped to increase the support for Poppy, because she has been left orphaned at the age of 11. As I said in my report, she's going to live with her aunt. People are rallying around to support her. But a family friend set up an online appeal shortly after the crash with an initial target of raising £3,000 to help her in the future. Tonight, and it's going up all the time, that now stands at more than £360,000. There will be big decisions, of course, to work out how to ensure that money is in a trust to create a welfare fund for Poppy and just what happens to it. Those decisions perhaps to come later. But as I say, this is a community which is utterly heartbroken. The police, for their part, well, their work goes on. As I say, an appeal to try and trace the movements of this grey Porsche. One person's actually come up and spoken to an officer saying he thinks he saw it, so they will be pursuing those kind of lines of inquiry. But tonight, one man remains in custody, arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving.
Yes, John Hill, thank you very much for that detailed update live in Barnsley there for us tonight.
Yes, very moving scenes there just near Barnsley. And of course, we'll bring you any updates on this story day or night on our website as soon as they happen, itv.com/calendar. Next tonight, statistics show it as Britain's most dangerous industry. A fact one farmer from our region knows only all too well.
As James Bannister was harvesting potatoes near Retford more than 20 years ago when he toppled into machinery, losing an arm.
Well, despite that, James has continued doing the job he loves, and with more than 30 people dying on farms last year, he's doing what he can to bring those numbers down. Amelia Beckett reports.
They grow our food, flowers and even fuel. But every day, farmers are putting their lives at risk in a job with such a poor safety record. It's classed as the UK's most dangerous. A fact James Bannister is all too aware of after he lost his arm in a catastrophic farming accident near Retford 26 years ago.
Normal day, went to work, harvesting potatoes. I've no recollection of actually climbing onto the machine, but I'd obviously climbed up onto the machine. Something happened and I slipped into the machine. My left arm got caught in the rollers, in the home roller in the machine, and it dragged me in up to my left shoulder.
It took 2.5 hours for emergency services to free James from the machine. Any longer, and the outcome could have been very different.
I know it could have been a lot worse. Time the lad got the tractor switched off, it was actually biting onto my neck. I've no nerves in this shoulder. My shoulder nerves are all gone.
But James isn't alone. In the last year, there were 937 accidents recorded on farms across the UK, while 34 people lost their lives. But research has found that 88% of farmers believe complacency is one of the biggest contributors to these accidents. And it's that which the Farm Safety Foundation is working to change.
We have been doing this for 10 years. And still farming continues to have the poorest safety record. Now, 10 years ago, there were 10 more farmers every year losing their lives. So we are seeing a steady decrease in the numbers, but it's not zero. It may never be, but it is a step in the right direction.
A step that James is playing his part in contributing to.
And I'm very lucky to be here, because I say 26 years ago it could have been totally different. So the more I can say about my accident and make people think about it, if just one person sees me and thinks, oh, I saw James the other day, I'm going to change how I do things. You never know. If just one person changes how they do things, then I've done my thing. I've done a bit of good.
Because this is an industry that James loves, but one he says no one should risk their lives for. Amelia Beckett, ITV News, Epworth.
An astonishing story there from James, really good of him to speak out to try and save others.
Through,
absolutely,
definitely.
Yes. Now you're watching Wednesday night's calendar, still to come before 6:30.
The price of protection with skin cancer at a record high. Is it time for us to follow Holland's lead and offer free sun cream to those who need it?
And yes, some warm sunny spells for some of us today, some moody skies for others, but even out of that thicker cloud with a cloud coming and going, we have had a high UV sunburn risk. What's happening for the rest of the week? All the detail a little later on.
Before that, the RSPCA says an animal welfare crisis is unfolding here in the Calendar region, with rescue centres full and struggling to take on any more pets.
Now, the charity says it's a national issue and it's having to pay thousands of pounds to put animals in private boarding centres, as Lauren Hall reports.
The RSPCA says it's reached breaking point, and this is what it looks like. Everywhere you turn, there are different animals with different backstories, and all of them in need of a home.
So we're in our main category. We're full at the moment. We are rehoming. However, as quickly as we rehome, we've still got demand to take cats in and that really need our help.
So always full?
Always.
Many animal charities are experiencing the same issues, with rescue centres full to capacity up and down the country. The rising cost of living means more people are giving up their pets and fewer people are rehoming them.
It's difficult to explain. We're professional people and this is our job and we do it as a profession. It's breaking us. It is absolutely breaking us. Because you can only do so much and it currently doesn't feel like it's enough.
It's taking its toll emotionally and financially.
There's so much demand that they're having to rely on private boarding centres to help care for some of the animals. And that's costing the charity £500,000 every month.
At the moment, the RSPCA is paying private boarding centres to care for around 1,400 animals. 273 of them are here in the Calendar region. Lee Luxury Cat Hotel is just one of those private facilities. The owner says she gives the RSPCA a heavily discounted rate, which only covers the costs of caring for the animals.
It's my bit for charity. It's my bit to help the cats. It's my bit to pay back to, the community and everything else.
Even with people doing their bit, it's not enough. The RSPCA's rehoming centres are full, but its cash reserves are far from it. And staff here say the situation can't go on for much longer. Lauren Hall, ITV News.
Heartbreaking, isn't it? Well, a quick look ahead now to tomorrow, when ITV News is revealing the true scale of the shocking crisis in the special educational needs sector throughout England, Wales and Northern Ireland. Across every ITV newsroom in the UK, we'll be hearing from parents of children with special educational needs and disabilities, like Lauren Bestwick and her autistic son, 7-year-old Charlie from near Skipton, who for years they've been battling a system failing young people throughout the country. Well, from Good Morning Britain at 6 a.m. right through the day on TV, online and on ITVX, we'll be shining a spotlight on SEND.
Well, we've actually had some decent weather lately, haven't we? And we all know the importance of slapping on the sun cream everywhere, but lots of these products can be expensive. So what if you can't afford them?
Well, what about this? In the Netherlands, they've recently started giving away sun cream for free in public places, and with skin cancer rates expected to hit a record high this year, some charities here say that free access to sun cream could help. And Rick Birdie explains.
Last year in the Netherlands, a scheme was launched in the hope of addressing the country's spiralling melanoma skin cancer rates. Free sun cream was made available in public places across the country, such as in parks, by the beach and on university campuses. And now there are calls for barriers to be removed when it comes to accessing sun cream over here too. Dr Waliat Hussain is a dermatologist in Leeds. He says making sun cream more affordable could have a huge positive impact, but there are already cheaper options available.
Patients often ask me, do they need to buy a really expensive one? And actually, the cheaper ones are just as good as the more expensive ones. And what we encourage people to look for is a broad spectrum sunscreen. And what I mean by that is something with a good UVB protection, which is the SPF rating. So we encourage an SPF of 30 or more.
Cancer Research UK predicts there'll be a record 20,800 cases of melanoma skin cancer diagnosed this year. It follows a rise in rates by a third between 2008 and 2018. 14 years ago, Karen Settle underwent an operation on her neck to remove a cancerous lump caused by melanoma.
If you can get people to actually adopt using sun cream, even where it's actually quite a dull, overcast day, the UV rays still get through, and those are the ones that cause the damage.
Karen works alongside Charity Skin, who have run sun education schemes in schools and nurseries for years. But they say they're not sure a free sun cream scheme, like the one in the Netherlands, would be feasible in the UK.
The challenge has always been is making it sustainable and having longevity, and who can fund it for that period of time. It's a huge financial undertaking, and I think the business model needs to be looked at in terms of giving it to those people in our communities that really do need sun cream. So those people that can't afford it, maybe children that are on free school dinners.
Although free sun cream might not be on the top of the political agenda at the moment, it's something skin cancer campaigners are hoping to squeeze through. Amrit Birdie, ITV News.
Yeah, and UV levels are something that Kerry always talks about, don't you? Always educating us about what we should do, how much sun cream we should put on.
People think it's the temperature, so if it's warm and it's summer, then you're going to get burnt, but it's actually the ultraviolet rays from the sun and how much of our atmosphere actually soaks that up. And if it penetrates through our atmosphere and the likes of the ozone and how thin that is, and it's all to do with the angle of the sun, it's to do with that rather than the temperature. So you can have varying temperatures, you can have cloud or you can have sun, but that UV still comes through. So that's why we have the UV forecast, and I tell you if it's going to be high. Now this time last year we had a heat wave, and then it culminated towards the weekend with a deluge. I don't know if you remember this time last year. Of course, it was coming up to tram lines. So I've done a UV level forecast for tram lines for the Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and for all 3 days it is high. So it's slip, slap, slop, SPF 50. But will it be dry? It's definitely going to be nothing like it was last year, but on Friday and Saturday we could see some showers, so don't let that catch you out. There might be some cloud, don't let that catch you out, but this is for Sunday, so if you've got tickets for Sunday, high pressure looks like coming in from the south and east, and it looks like a really nice day, so shades and shorts, not just for tram lines, but probably for all of us.
All right, thank you. So what was it again? Slip, slap, slop?
Slip, slap, slop, SPF 50.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Forecast
you.
shortly. Thank you.
Now then, it's just 48 hours to go until the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games in Paris. And over the next few weeks, athletes from our region will be going for gold.
Well, one of those is Leeds-born rower Georgina Brayshaw. A horse-riding accident left her in a coma and partially paralysed at the age of 15. Now, at the age of 30, she hopes to power to Olympic glory.
Chris Dawkes has been to meet Georgie and hear her extraordinary journey to Paris 2024.
When this is your workplace, life can seem pretty sweet. And for Georgie Brayshaw, she's thankful for every single second. Growing up, horse riding was Georgie's sport, but at 15 on a ride with friends, she was thrown from her horse. Georgie was in a coma for 9 days. When she woke, she was paralysed on her left-hand side.
I think the prognosis was very, very bad, the initial one. People thought, will she even make it? And then she's going to be in a wheelchair, she won't even feed herself. The outlook was really bad.
But Georgie defied the odds. Her mobility improved, she went to university. That's where she found rowing. After moving home, Georgie joined Leeds Rowing Club, where she excelled, and it wasn't long before she was on the Great Britain programme. Georgie now lives down south and trains at the National Rowing Centre in Caversham in Berkshire, and she's going to the Olympics.
There wasn't any funding when I first started out for the first 5-6 years, and Mum and Dad just believed in me and thought, you know, if she wants to do this, like, let's let her have a go, see where she can get, and got to the Olympics.
So to have that prognosis and to now be seeing their daughter compete for Team GB at the Olympics, they must be so proud.
Yeah, they tell me how proud they are all the time, and it's really nice that they are proud and they're so excited for the Olympics, and yeah, it's just, I'm so happy that I can make them proud by doing this, and it gives me joy that they are so proud and I've made them happy.
Her goal now, a gold medal. As part of the quadruple sculls, last year Georgie became a world champion. As such, her team are now favourites to win in Paris.
Honestly, this is pinch me moments. I just can't believe that this is me. Like, how have I got here? It's like, I'm just Georgie. I don't know how I've got here at all, but I'm doing it and I'm so excited. I'm just trying to take in every single second and yeah, just make sure I remember every little thing. For me, I just want everyone else in the country, in the world, wherever, just to like never let anything hold them back, and there are no excuses. Like, you can do anything you want if you want it enough, and I've worked so hard, like I've had to make so many sacrifices, but look at me now. I don't want to say it, but this is incredible. This is like completely bizarre what's going on, but I've worked really hard for it, and I just want everyone to know that they can do that as well.
Georgie will tell you nothing is as precious as life itself, but an Olympic gold medal could come a close second. Chris Dawkes, ITV News, Caversham.
Yes, good luck to Georgie. We're all rooting for you. Now, finally, from one sporting hopeful to a true sporting hero, with one of Yorkshire's most decorated cricketers immortalised with a mural in the city where he was born and bred.
You might remember these great scenes back in 2019 when Adil Rashid received a hero's welcome in Bradford after winning the World Cup with England.
Well, a little earlier, he told Arif Ahmed what an honour it was to be recognised again in the place he calls home.
Well, Adil Rashid is one of Bradford's favourite sons. We've seen those great pictures of him returning in 2019 as a World Cup winner. He's a Freeman of the city. Now, this really impressive mural has just been unveiled here at Bradford Park Avenue. Well, we can speak to the man himself. Now, Adil, good to see you again. Pretty impressive, that, isn't it?
Yeah, very impressive. You know, great artwork as well. So a big shout out goes to the person who did that. But no, a big thank you goes to Northern Supercharge as well for, you know, putting this great event, putting that mural up there, and, you know, and a big thank you to them as well.
And you're Bradford born and bred, still live in the city. What does Bradford mean to you? Because they've really taken you to their hearts, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. Bradford means a lot. Obviously, this is where everything started for me from a young age of 6, 7 till what I'm now. So, you know, it's taught me everything. It's taught me life.
The main thing with this mural as well is the inspiration. Hundreds of kids come and play cricket here, and they can see the success that you've had and see that one day they can emulate you.
Yeah, definitely. That's the ultimate aim. You know, as a young boy, you always dream to play international cricket, professional cricket. But for myself now, it's passing that on to the next generation of cricketers, letting them know that anything is possible, regardless of where you come from, the race, religion, whatever, as long as you put the hard work in, dedication, put your mind at it, and ultimately as well, having fun along the way, you know, and dreaming, and a lot can happen.
Thanks very much, Adil. Well, you're not the only star of this mural, are you? There's little Abdurrahman there in the corner. We can speak to him now. Abdurrahman, how cool is that you're up there?
It's very cool, but it's all thanks to Adil.
And Adil is your hero, isn't he?
Yeah.
Tell me, what do you like so much about him?
I like his spin, how he spins the ball.
And we can speak to Dad now. Dad, tell me, how did this come about?
Well, we were on the Northern Superchargers social media. They had opened up a competition, submit your best photo with Adil. The problem was we could only choose one person to go in the mural from the family. So yeah, we had some sort of wrestling match at home, yeah. But we said Abdurrahman is going to live the longest out of all of us, hopefully. So let's have that, and let's have him on so he can tell everybody about it for more years than we can.
Oh, fantastic. And we can speak to the man that put all this together. Adam, tell me, really impressive work here. Congratulations to you. Talk me through the process of this.
Okay, so we came down on the Friday night to get prepped for the weekend of painting. So we used a projector to get the everything in proportion and in the right places. And then on the Saturday and Sunday, we came down and put a load of colour on the wall and brought it all to life.
Perfect. Thanks so much for speaking to us, Adam. Well, he's loved here in Bradford is Adil Rashid, and well, with the inspiration of this mural, we could find the next one very soon.
Yeah, I was going to say lots of inspirational people on calendar tonight.
Oh yes, yeah.
Right across the programme.
Very successful people.
Yeah.
Let's go to Kerry now for the weather forecast.
Good visibility on the horizon. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hello again. Yes, it was a bit of a mixture across the region today. Definitely feeling warm and quite humid across most parts of the region, but we had a decent start, some thicker cloud for the middle part of the day. Basically cloud coming and going, and that's the story over the next few days. Despite that warm day today, it's slightly fresher over the next few days. Low pressure to the north and west, feeding in more of a west-northwesterly flow for Thursday and Friday, but any weather fronts coming through, hopefully weakening as they push over the Pennines towards us. So in a bit more detail, for this evening, still a few showers in the mix. It's mostly dry overnight tonight, but largely cloudy, and there's quite a bit of moisture in the air. So it's warm, murky, certainly over the hills where there could be some dampness first thing in the morning, and certainly for towns and cities, it's a muggy one tonight, 16 or 17 Celsius. So as we head into Thursday, there are Eastern times, 10 past 5 and 14 minutes past 9. Disappointingly cloudy, perhaps first thing, but the clouds should lift and thin slowly throughout the day. There is a risk once more middle part of the day of a few showers, but they will be isolated, most places dry, and the best of the combined drier and brighter weather will probably come through for the evening. 22 or 23, bit more of a breeze from that west-southwesterly direction. So as we head through into tomorrow night and indeed into Friday, we are expecting it to be a mostly dry and bright start. It will still be nice and warm in any sunshine, 21 or 22, with just some scattered showers. To northern parts, those showers could be heavy on Saturday. So yes, Sunday looks at this stage to be the best day of the weekend.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
There you go, that's your forecast. What do you think? It's not bad, is it?
Sunday's looking great.
I can't wait for Sunday.
Sunday's great.
It's still a few days away, yeah.
Roll on the weekend. But we're back at 10:30 with Arif, and we'll see you tomorrow night at 6. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much for
Good night.
watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.